Imagine yourself stranded on an inhabited island. What would you do? Think about it. You're alone, surrounded by the vast, unpredictable expanse of nature. Survival instincts kick in. This video will be your guide, your survival manual, if you will, providing 10 essential techniques to endure and thrive in such a scenario. From finding water to making fire, from building shelter to gathering food, we've got you covered. So buckle up. Stay tuned as we unravel the top 10 survival techniques you should know. The first thing you should do is find a source of fresh water. And here's why. Our bodies are about 60% water, and we can only survive for about 3 days without it. Without water, our bodies start to shut down. Dehydration is a serious business, folks. So how do you find water on an uninhabited island? One way is to collect rainwater. You can use leaves, shells, or anything else you find that can hold water. Another method is to dig a well. Look for areas where vegetation is lush. This is often a sign that groundwater is nearby. But remember, you'll need to purify any water you find to make sure it's safe to drink. You can do this by boiling it over a fire or using a purification tablet if you have one. And that's it for finding water. It's not always easy, but it's always necessary. Remember, water is life. Next up, you need to find or build a shelter. Now, why is shelter so important, you might wonder? Well, it's your first line of defense against the elements and potential predators. Mother Nature, as beautiful as she is, can also be harsh and unpredictable. A sudden downpour, an intense sun, or a curious creature, all can be warded off with a good shelter. Shelters come in many forms, from simple lean-tos to complex A-frame huts. The type of shelter you build depends on the materials available and the time you have. A lean-to can be quickly assembled with 2 sturdy branches for support and smaller branches or leaves for cover. An A-frame hut takes more time and materials, but offers better protection and space. Remember, your goal is to create something that keeps you dry, warm, and safe. Use what you have, be it leaves, branches, or even a naturally formed cave. A good shelter can be your safe haven on an inhabited island. Fire is a survivalist's best friend. A beacon of hope in the darkness, fire serves multiple purposes. It's not just about the warmth that seeps into your bones, driving away the chill of the night. It's about cooking, transforming raw, inedible items into a source of nourishment. And let's not forget, a blazing fire can keep predators at bay, providing a protective barrier between you and the wild. Creating fire, though, is an art. It requires resourcefulness. One method, the hand drill, requires a spindle and a fireboard. By rapidly spinning the spindle on the fireboard, you generate friction, which in turn creates heat. Another method employs the use of flint and steel, where striking the two together produces sparks to ignite your tinder. Remember, preparation is key. Always keep your materials dry and ready. Fire making can be a challenge, but with patience and practice, you can master it. Master the art of fire making, and you're one step closer to survival. Once you have water, shelter, and fire, it's time to find food. Food is the fuel that powers our bodies, and in a survival situation, it's more important than ever. It gives us the energy we need to build, hunt, navigate, and perform all the other tasks necessary for survival. Now, when it comes to finding food on an uninhabited island, you've got a couple of options. You can forage for edible plants, fruits, and nuts. Learn to identify what's safe to eat and what's not. Some plants can be poisonous, so be cautious. Your other option is hunting for small animals. This could be anything from insects to small mammals or birds. You'll need to be patient, stealthy, and quick. And of course, don't forget about fishing. If you're on an island, there's a good chance you're surrounded by a buffet of seafood. Remember, the key is to use what the island provides. In the wilderness, knowing your direction can be a lifesaver. And on an inhabited island, it's no different. Navigation is your key to locating vital resources and possibly a route to rescue. You see, the island isn't just a random collection of trees and rocks. It's a map waiting to be read. Start by identifying natural landmarks, like a gigantic boulder or a uniquely shaped tree. These will serve as your reference points and help you orient yourself. And don't forget the sky. The sun, as it traverses from east to west, can be a reliable compass during the day. At night, turn your gaze upwards. The stars have been guiding sailors and adventurers for centuries. Find the North Star, Polaris, in the northern hemisphere, or the Southern Cross in the southern hemisphere. They're your celestial compass. Remember, survival isn't about going in circles, it's about knowing where you're headed. Never underestimate the power of a good sense of direction. Injuries can happen. Knowing basic first aid is essential. Let's face it, when you're on an uninhabited island, you're the doctor, the nurse, and the patient, all at once. And while we hope you never have to use these skills, it's always better to be prepared. Firstly, let's talk about wounds. They're the most common injuries out there. Clean it with whatever clean water you have, and wrap it tightly with cloth to stop any bleeding. If you've got honey, even better. It's a natural antibiotic. What about broken bones? You'll need to make a splint. Find 2 sticks, one on either side of the injury, then tie them together with cloth or vine. It's not a perfect solution, but it can stabilize the injury until you get help. Remember, first aid is not a substitute for professional medical help. But when you're out there on your own, a little first aid knowledge can go a long way. While surviving is crucial, so is signaling for help. Now let's shed some light on this. It's one thing to manage the basics of survival: water, shelter, fire, food. But without someone knowing you're out there, your chances of rescue are slim. Imagine you're a tiny dot in the vast expanse of the ocean. How can you make yourself seen? How can you send out a cry for help? One of the most effective methods is fire signaling. By burning green leaves or plastic, you can create thick black smoke that can be seen for miles. Another technique is creating a signal mound. Arrange rocks or logs into a noticeable shape, like the universal distress signal, an SOS. But remember, timing is key. Signal during the day when visibility is best, and when aircraft are most likely to be passing overhead. Remember, your ultimate goal is to get rescued. Make your presence known and keep that flame of hope alive. Survival isn't just about physical needs, it's also about keeping your mind sharp. A keen mind is a survivalist's best tool, and it's vital to keep it honed. Your mind is your best asset, your key to survival. It's the architect of your escape plans, the designer of your tools, and the navigator of your path out of the wilderness. Staying mentally active isn't just about solving problems, though. It's about being curious, exploring your surroundings, learning about the world around you. It's about engaging with the environment, not just surviving in it. This can be as simple as taking a walk to explore your environment, or as complex as creating a map or a tool. Being mentally active also means staying positive. It's easy to succumb to despair in a survival situation, but keeping your spirits up is a crucial part of the battle. Remember, the human spirit is indomitable. It's been proven time and time again. So keep your chin up, keep your mind sharp, and keep going. A sharp mind is a survival tool. In survival, your creativity can save your life. Tools are not a luxury, but a necessity. They can mean the difference between catching your next meal or going hungry. They can turn a pile of sticks into a sturdy shelter or help you start a life-saving fire. Let's talk about creating basic tools from what's around you on the island. You can use rocks as hammers or sharpen them into knives or spear points. Long, sturdy branches can become fishing poles or hunting spears. Vines or plant fibers can be woven into ropes or nets. Even a simple hollowed-out coconut can serve as a bowl or a cup. Remember, it's not about creating a tool that looks pretty. It's about creating something functional that can help you survive. It's about looking at what you've got and figuring out how to make it work for you. Your ingenuity can make your survival journey easier. Last but not least, adapt and learn. On an uninhabited island, the environment is your teacher and experience, your guide. Every day is a chance to learn new survival techniques, to adapt to the ever-changing conditions. Whether it's finding innovative ways to gather food or crafting tools from unexpected materials, the ability to learn and adapt is crucial. Be resourceful, be inventive, and most importantly, be open to change. Remember, adaptability is the key to survival. So, there you have it. 10 survival techniques for an inhabited island. We've navigated through finding water, building shelter, making fire, gathering food, and even creating tools. We've learned about first aid, signaling for help, staying active, and the importance of adaptability. Each of these skills is a vital piece of the puzzle, a step on the path to survival. So arm yourself with this knowledge, practice these techniques, and take on your next adventure with confidence. Remember, knowledge is power. Stay safe and keep exploring.